Okay. Okay, now we wait. Oh, there we go. Morning, Mila.
Oh, it's me, Robbie.
Oh, the Quinn girls are watching. And the Greif girls are watching. Did they enjoy their Easter prank this morning?
Easter prank?
Yeah, I'm going to show you the Easter prank this morning. And Jamie and Amber Rose. Auntie Renataki. Good morning. Hello, Auntie Anne-Marie. Uncle Ian's watching. Hello, Uncle Ian. Hello. You're all shy now. Good morning, Rach and Katie.
Because I can't see anyone.
Yeah, but you can still say hello. They can see you.
I'm rolling my tray. I'm going to hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Can I have hand sanitizer in my hand? I don't want to go over. Oh, it's strong.
Oh, good morning, Mia. Mia Croc. Oh, and then the Brahma boys. Hello, Brahma boys.
Face.
And Jamie's watching. Hello, Jamie. I'm sorry if I don't say hello to everyone. Hello, Tegan and Matthew. I can't always see everyone's hellos and comments. So, Auntie Anne says hello, Kendall. Kendall's hiding. Auntie Bev. Hello, Auntie Bev. Auntie Bev Mac. And Sally. Morning, Sally. Oh, the Niman. Hello, the Nimans. The Brahmas are in the house. Mr. Swanson wants to know if the Mr. Brahma Senior is online as well. Oh, Faith and Bailey are back. Nathan and Zoe. Oh, Jack's also. Hello, Jack. Oh, the Steenkamps are on. Good morning, Steenkamp family. Auntie Bev says hello. And Jenna's on again. Hello, Jenna. Oh, Zachary and Imogen. Good morning. Morning, Sasha. And Ziara. Morning, Ziara. Kendall. Daniel wants to say hi. Brahma Senior is on a call out. Ken's come around and just say hi. No, she's still being a bit shy.
Or just use
Morning, Swansonites. Love from England. Uncle Ian. Hello, Chambo. Right, we're going to give it another minute and then we'll start. So sorry if I don't say hello to everyone. I can't always see your comments pop up for some reason. And then at the end, when we go offline, then suddenly I see all these hellos. So sorry guys if I don't say hello to everyone. Well done, Kendall. Oh, the Erasmus boys are back on. Good morning, Erasmuses. And Uncle Mornay in the background working. Hello, Alum girls. Right, I think we can get going. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 3. I think it is. Yes, Wednesday, day 3. Today we are going to leave that not please. Now, today we're going to make some cheese puffs and some custard tarts. So we're going to use our puff pastry again today. But what I want to start off with, just double checking that everyone has everything they need. So we'll start off with our ingredients. Obviously we have our packet of puff pastry. For those, I know yesterday I had some little ones that made their own puff pastry and I was very, very impressed. I hope it tasted yummy, yummy. Right, then we also need some icing sugar. Mine's in a container that we're going to use for our custard tarts. Then we have our cheese, which we're going to use. And then either tomato sauce or tomato paste, whichever one you like, whichever one you have at home. And then we're going to use some custard. I've got the ultramel custard. You can also make custard from custard powder. and we have some flour which we're going to use for our sprinkling. Then for equipment, start off with, we're going to use metal knives again today. We're going to use our rolling pins, a pastry cutter or pizza cutter if you have one, your 60 milliliter measuring cup, your measuring spoons, your grater, and then some cookie cutters if you have, whatever shape cookie cutters, whichever ones you have. We've got some flamingos and some ponies and what do we have? Butterflies and teddy bears and bunnies. Right, I think that's all we need. So let's start off with our puff pastry, guys. So take it out your packets for me again and unroll it. And put it in front of you so that it is landscape. So landscape in front of you. Okay. And then what I want you to do is I just want you to cut it down the middle so that you have two rectangles like that. Okay. Oh, I need the scissors again. Sorry, guys. And then you can just cut the paper that's underneath. So you've got two rectangles like that, okay, and I want you to put the one rectangle to the side because we're going to use that just now, and put the other rectangle in front of you again in landscape. Morning Ascot Evans family, hello Laura. Right, everyone good at that point? Again, sorry if I don't answer comments or anything because I can't see them, so I only get them afterwards, unfortunately. But if you can say hello or anything, try and I'll see if I can say hello back. Right, now this morning, depending on how many you are, again, similar to what we did yesterday, if you are 3, then you need to divide your piece of pastry that you've got in front of you into 3. If there are 2 of you, lucky you, you just divide it into half. So depending on how many people are baking with you today, take your piece of pastry and divide it into 3 or 2, depending on how many there are. So I've got 3 rectangles. There we go. Now I'm going to pass mine on to the girls so that they've each got their piece of pastry. Again, put some flour on the table in front of you. Sprinkle some flour so that your pastry doesn't stick to your table. And you can put some on top of your pastry too, so that it doesn't stick. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay, so flour on your table, pastry on your table, and then just dab some flour on so it's not sticky. Oh, good morning, Prince Luz, and morning, Thundercakes. Welcome. We're making cheese puffs and custard tarts today. So we're starting off with our cheese puffs. That's what we're going to start off with. Good to see. I wish I could see you guys, but thank you, Mrs. Ascot Evans. Please send photos later again. I love seeing your photos afterwards. I really do. Right. So what I want you to do now is you've got your rolling pins and you've got your cookie cutters. I want you to roll your pastry. Just wait before you start, like my children, all getting excited to start. Wait before you start. I want you to roll out your pastry and cut out some shapes with your cookie cutters. For the cheese puffs, you can cut as many as you want to with your pastry. Try not roll your pastry too thin, because when we bake it in the oven, it might just burn if it's too thin. So just a nice thickness. Moms can maybe just keep an eye for you. Roll out your pastry and cut as many shapes as you can with your pastry and your cookie cutters, and then just have them in front of you once you've cut them, because then we're going to do some more things to it. Right, off you go. Start. So use your rolling pin, as you can use mine. I'll use a bottle. A bottle.
Again.
Yes. If you don't have a rolling pin, no problem. Just use a round drinking bottle. It works just as well. Yes, that's perfect. Okay. So the piece of pastry you've got in front of you should be about double the size once you've rolled it out. So it shouldn't be bigger than double the size than what it was. Then choose any shapes that you want. I'm going to use a little cupcake shape. Oh, good morning, Harper and Ben. Welcome. So cut out whatever shapes you want and then pop them onto the table in front of you. We'll give you all a chance to do that. I'm now going to use my pony. If you struggle to get it off the table, you can also just use your knife or a spatula to help you get it off the table. Sometimes the more basic cookie cutters are actually easier than the complicated ones. So sometimes a shape like a heart or a circle is sometimes a little bit easier. Let's just see what you can do. It's all about having fun. All I want you to do is have fun.
Yeah, stretch my pony's leg.
Okay, I've got some butterflies. Yeah. And I've got a cupcake. Let's do one more butterfly. Alright, is everyone good?
No. It does look like a salty crack, and I would like it.
Yeah, you're right. Kendall's got a cookie cutter that's cut a piece that looks like a salty crack biscuit. It looks very cool. My pony's not great. Right. Try and use as much of your pastry as you can. So just keep rolling it out. Don't add too much flour to it, remember, because you don't want to make your pastry too dry. So if it's not sticking anymore, don't add any flour to it.
Mine looks perfect.
I'm going to sneeze. Oh, it's gone.
Can I have a butterfly?
Sure. There we go.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm going to make a bunny. We've got a little Easter bunny we're going to make.
Let's make a flamingo.
Oh,
Can I make a
I
flamingo?
don't think I'll have enough for a flamingo. There we go, Ken. Right, so I've got about 6 different shapes that I've made.
Can I have a bit
See
more
how
flour?
everyone else is doing.
A bit more flour.
I think I might get one more out of my last piece of pastry.
Can I have a cake?
Yes. There we go. Can I have the butterfly back, please? Thank you. Right, there we go. If you've got pastry left over, don't worry, we can always use it just now for the custard tarts. So you can just leave it on the side for now.
What do you do with the rest?
Just keep it on the side. We'll use it just now for the custard tarts. Right, so I'll give everyone another minute or so just to finish cutting their pastries. Well done.
I'm going to have one of all of them.
Everyone looking good? Morning, Gordon girls. Everyone good? Everyone good? Right.
I've got a little too.
That's okay. Just leave it on the side. We'll use it for the... Right, one more for Kendall, and then we're going to move on. Hopefully everyone's there. Good morning, Dukas family. Yeah. Kendall's all excited to see that you are online. Right. Right, so I'm going to move on now. If you haven't finished rolling and cutting your shapes, just put it aside for now, and you can carry on again just now. But have a look at what I'm going to do next. So, there's a very loud motorbike in the background. Right, so we're now going to move on to either your tomato sauce or your tomato paste, whichever one you've got. You can use either or. You can also, if you don't like tomato sauce, don't put it on. Okay, but for those of you who do like tomato sauce, we're going to put some on. So I want you to use your measuring spoon. We've got our tablespoon, so it's the big measuring spoon. And I want you to pour your tomato sauce into your measuring spoon. There you can see. And then I want you to take your metal knife. Girls, just wait. I want you to take your metal knife and I want you to spread that tomato sauce on top of your pastry. So you're colouring in all the pastry with your tomato sauce. That tablespoon of tomato sauce or tomato paste should be enough to cover all your pastry that you've just cut out. So if you haven't finished cutting out, carrying on cutting out now, getting all tongue-tied. And everybody else, you can start colouring in your pastry with your tomato sauce or your tomato paste. Those that are not wanting to use tomato sauce or tomato paste, you can just hang around and wait while everyone finishes, if that's cool. Right, off you go. Start doing your tomato sauce and your tomato paste.
Do you need to do, is it, I'm just confused.
Oh, what's wrong, Ken? So
Are
you're going to
supposed
measure your...
make 2 of 1?
No, look, you're going to just colour them in.
Oh,
Okay, all you're doing is colouring in your pastry with your tomato sauce.
yay.
That's all you're doing. Colouring in, colouring in, colouring in. So you're making it look nice and pretty. The beautiful deep red colour of your tomato sauce, your tomato paste. Do you know what the difference is between tomato sauce and tomato paste? Anybody know the difference?
Tomato paste is...
Okay, so what happens is tomato paste is jam-packed with lots and lots of flavour and lots of tomatoes. And tomato sauce, what they've done is it's basically tomato paste, but then they've added lots of other ingredients to it to make it thinner, and actually they've made it a little bit sweeter as well. I think there's quite a bit of sugar in it. But tomato paste is a lot stronger flavour, so it's a deep flavour of tomato. And we add tomato paste to our pastas. We're making a spaghetti bolognese. We'll add that to that. We use tomato paste on our pizzas, as on top of our bases. Where else do we use tomato paste?
You could use it on mince.
Yep, on your mince when you're making mince. Yep. Okay, everyone good?
No.
Everyone colouring in?
I put an eye on, but then I put it off because I didn't.
It's okay. Alright, so colour in. I've got 2 more that I need to colour in.
When did you start making this? Because I never got to make it.
No, we haven't done these for a while. I don't think I've made these for a while at school. Can't remember
I
really.
don't even remember me doing it. I don't remember.
Alright.
I'm not finished.
Alright, everyone good?
I'm almost finished colouring the butterfly and then half of my...
Uncle Ian, Bruce is actually working in the background. He's got his desk set up here in the dining room. And he's working.
What if you have leftovers?
He's still got to pay the bills, you know.
What if you have leftovers?
That's fine. If you've got leftover, that's fine. You don't have to use all your tomato sauce. Just use as much as you need and then leave the rest. Addie licking her fingers in the background.
I'm so cheap.
Oh, you girls are funny. Right, everyone good? Right, let's move on. Now we're going to grate our cheese. So again, I'm just going to run through the grating of the cheese for those who weren't with us earlier this week. So your grater has different sides. We want to use this side, which is the long, thin, narrow side of the grater. Remember, don't use the round one. That's your zester. That's for hard skins. And if you use that side, your cheese is just going to get stuck in you and get all clunky. So we want to use the long, thin, narrow side. If your grater, like this one, doesn't have a long, thin, narrow side, then just use the big one. It's fine. So what I want you to do is I want you to grate some of your cheese. Your moms can just give you a block of cheese. Maybe they've already measured out a block of cheese for you. And I want you to use your grater flat on the table. Remember, nice and firm, not up in the air. We don't grate up in the air. The grater needs to be flat on the table, nice and firm. When you're grating your cheese, downward motion, move your hand up in the air, down, move it up and down. Do it nice and slowly, not too quickly, because remember the grater is as sharp as a knife. It will cut your fingers. So grate your cheese. You want to be able to fill up, again, your little measuring cup of 60 mils. You want to be able to fill this up with cheese. Once you fill that up with cheese, I want you to pop it on top of your tomato sauce. So you're now going to decorate and colour in with your cheese on top of your pastry. Okay, right, off you go. Start grating your cheese. Yes, I'm just going to finish this quickly, Kens, and then I'll give it to you. Okay, I'll give you your cheese now. Here we go, Kens. Make some space in front of you so that you have space to grate. Here we go. James, you can use that piece. There we go. Okay, and then when you've got, let's just measure. I'm going to see that I've got enough cheese. I grated some cheese last night with supper. There we go. Remember, don't squash your cheese in. Your cheese doesn't like to be squashed. And don't do a big pile of cheese because that's not enough. That's too much cheese. Just a nice little cup of cheese. And then you can start decorating your cheese puffs. So you're going to colour in now with your cheese.
This is easy.
Okay, what's wrong?
I love
Yeah.
it.
Okay, once you've measured, just put the cheese on the table in front of you so your siblings can also use the measuring cup. I'm going to move our things out the way that we've used. So we have more space on the tables. Keep your cookie cutters on the table though. You're going to need those again. Right, and we are decorating cheese on top of our little cheese, on top of the tomato sauce. So you are decorating with cheese. That's okay, Kendall. Just use it. Pop it on my sweetheart.
This is my favorite.
Yummy, yummy cheese.
I like cheese. But you don't like cheese puffs.
Does everyone love cheese as much as we do? Aww. Aww. Livy and Anna in Australia say hi, girls. Say hi, wave, they can see you. Morning. Yeah, the Ravenscroft. Hello, Auntie Debbie. Bruce goes hi.
I have cheese.
Oh, I think the Downs are also online. Daniela Downs. Right, how's everyone doing? Everyone grated beautifully? Colouring in beautifully? Now there's one thing I didn't put on your list of items you might need, so maybe you can just grab one if you can, is a spatula or something to lift your creations off the table. So I'm going to use our, sorry Az, I'm going to grab it again. Right, I've got one of these because they can slide under really nicely. They call them an offset knife. So I'm going to use this. When you've finished, just pick them up nicely and gently. You can see there's what mine looks like. And pop it onto your baking tray. So, right, remember baking tray needs to have baking paper on as well. So it doesn't stick to the bottom of your tray. So there we go.
What do with the rest?
If you've got cheese left over, just pop it into a packet or ask your mom for a plastic container. And you can put all the cheese back because I'm sure your mom will use it later for some sandwiches, or maybe you're going to make some pizzas or something like that. We don't want to waste the cheese. Or you can eat some like Kendall is. Hey Kens.
Wait, like the...
Sorry, for those of you, I do have two daughters. The one just doesn't like being on telly, so she hides in the background. But she is, yeah, she's taking part. You might see her arm move every now and again in the corner. There we go. In the corner of the screen. But she doesn't like to be center of attention, so. Right, which is fine. Right, so mine are on the baking tray. Girls, you want to put yours on the baking tray? Okay, and once they're on the baking tray, then I'm going to ask you to get a wet cloth, guys, and clean your table for a bit. So pick up all that cheese. Remember, scoop it into your hand and into the bin, not onto the floor, because you don't want to mess onto the floor. Remember, the floor is not a bin. So into your hand and into the bin. So your table's nice and clean again before we start our custard tarts.
Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Right. What we also need to do is ask your moms, or you can do it, pop your ovens on to 190 degrees, please. Get them going. Warm them up. 190 degrees.
What?
It's hot, hot, hot. Right. Right, if your hands are a little bit dirty, give them a quick wash. So once you've cleaned up your table, wipe your hands again, dry them, sanitize them. So we're ready to go with the next one. Well done, Az. Pens.
Oh,
Put that
I
there.
know whose is whose. Mine is in the middle.
Yours is going to be on the side.
Because also some of them are not going to...
I'm moving it over so there's space for Kendall. Right, make sure there's enough space for all of you on the baking tray.
Or just one.
Okay.
Oh no.
Right, Kens.
I'm breaking my butterfly.
Oh no. Right, they're looking good. Everyone good? Everyone cleaning up their table so long? Remember, scoop it all into your hand and into the bin.
Hand sanitizer.
Yep, and then wash. Give your hands a quick wash before we reset. Hello, Abdul. Nice to see you. Oh, temperature again of the oven is 190 degrees. 190. Well done, Kens. Okay, 190 degrees is the temperature. Yummy.
Oh, it's exhausting.
So we're making a little bit of a lunchtime snack today and a little bit of dessert. Right, so clean your
I'm not having it
tables.
for dessert. I'm having it later.
Okay, good girl, Kens. Into your hands, into the bin. Right, I'm going to give everyone just another minute just to clean up. And then we'll start with round number 2.
What's round?
Custard tarts. Okay, what you can do is just move anything out the way that you have used. And if I can just ask you, just go and rinse your little measuring spoon because we're going to use it again. So go and rinse it out for me, please.
Rinse what out?
Your measuring spoon. Okay, rinse it out.
I'm up.
Right, everyone good? Addie's just rinsing our spoons quickly.
Where's mine gone? Whoa, where? Oh. Very funny.
Right.
Can you rinse it now?
Right, everyone good?
Okay.
Okay, girls, just leave that now, Ed. Leave it for now. Right. What we're going to do now is I want you to pick up your next piece of pastry. So you've got your other half. Again, we are going to divide it into however many people are working with you today. So if we are 2 of you, you can halve your pastry. If there's 3 of you, we're going to do thirds. Right.
I was wanting to do that.
Sorry, Kens. Right, so we're doing 3. So there's our thirds. And I'm going to hand them out again.
Thank you.
Again, put some flour on your table.
Yeah.
And some flour on top of your pastry. If you've got pastry left over from earlier, you can join it now. So you can put this pastry with the other pastry. So that you've got a nice big piece. Here's my little piece. I'm just going to pop it with. Right. Remember, don't use too much pastry. Too much flour because you don't want to dry out your pastry. Because if you do dry it out, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to work nicely. Good. Right. Now, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to do very similar to what we did just now with the cheese puffs. We're going to roll out our pastry. Again, you're going to roll it out. It makes Kendall wait, please, my sweetheart. You're going to roll this out and basically make double the size of what this is now. And then I want you to choose cookie cutters to cut out shapes. But with this one, you need to make 2 of each shape. Minimum 2 of each shape because we're going to be making a sandwich with our custard tarts. So if you're using the bunny, for example, make 2 bunnies. You need to have 2 of the same shape. So whatever you're doing needs to be in 2. So if you're going to make 4 shapes, make sure that 2 of them are the same shape. Everyone understand? Right, off you go. Start rolling and cutting your shapes. Here's my bottle again. Those that joined late, if you don't have a rolling pin, don't worry, just use a water bottle. And remember, don't roll out your pastry too thin. Crush. Okay. Right. I'm going to use a bunny. Quite like my bunny. We quite like the teddy, kids. Oh. No guesses which one Addie likes? The flamingo. Right, I'm just going to make 2 for now. But everyone else, use your pastry, use all your pastry as much as you can to make your 2 so that you have minimum 2 of each shape. Because we're going to make little sandwiches with our custard tarts.
And what happens if you put another different one?
It's not going to work properly, yeah? Okay. You might need a second baking tray. If you don't have 2 baking trays, then we'll just bake the one, and you can pop these ones onto the baking tray when the other one comes out the oven. So when your oven is ready, you can put your cheese puffs in the oven. They're going to go in for about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven again. You just want the pastry to come out nice and golden and crispy, and your cheese will obviously be nice and melted. So 12 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven. Okay, we are busy cutting. Everyone good? Everyone cutting pastry? Everyone having fun?
Mom, some of the tomatoes. There we go.
Good. Okay, try and cut as much as you can out of your pastry. We don't want to waste any of our pastry.
It's like we can make it.
Alright, everyone good? Everyone rolling? Everyone cutting? Everyone happy? It's another one of those lessons today where I actually can't see what you're doing. So I've got to trust the judgment that you guys are all with me. Oh, the Olkers family. Good morning, Olkers family. Good morning, Auntie Sheila. Oh, Auntie Sheila's there.
When does that thing end?
See, it shows us there.
But then when does it end?
Right, I'm going to give you another minute or so to finish rolling your pastry, and then I'm going to explain what we're going to do next, because some of this you can actually do just now when we're offline.
Is it too thin?
No, that's alright, kids. Okay, remember again, make sure you've got 2 of the same shape. They need to be little pairs. They're going to be little buddies, so make sure you've got buddies.
The bunny.
The bunny. Do you have the butterfly for me, please?
Butterfly.
What happened to the butterfly? Oh, we lost the butterfly. That's okay.
The butterfly is no. And
that's alright. Don't worry. Okay. Right, everyone good? Right. So what I want you to do now, everyone put your pastry down and have a look at what I am going to do. I just want to grab my measuring spoon quickly. Right, so we have washed the measuring spoons.
kind of.
No, you did. You washed the one. That's all we need. Right, everybody, equipment down and eyes and ears on me. Okay, stop. Right, eyes and ears. Right, what we're going to do now is because once you've finished making your pears, we're going to bake the pastry. So I want you to put your pastry onto the baking tray, and we're going to bake those for 12 to 15 minutes as well. So what I did earlier is I baked some this morning. So I baked little round ones. This is the ones that Kendall said look like little salty cracks. So I've got 2 little salty cracks, and then I made tiny little butterflies. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you when they come out the oven and they have cooled down. You are then going to assemble them with your custard. So what you're going to do is you'll open up your custard. If you've made on custard, that's also cool. We're going to put some in you're going to use a big tablespoon measurement. You're going to pop it in there. Okay, there we go. There we've got my custard. Then you're going to take your knife. I'm just going to use my offset knife for now. And you're going to pop the custard on top of one of them. There we go. You see how beautiful that looks. And then you're going to take your other one and you're going to pop it on top. There we go. So we've made a little sandwich. This actually looks like a little macaroon. We've made a little sandwich. And then just to finish it off beautifully, we are going to take some icing sugar and you're going to sprinkle icing sugar on. Now, if you have a sieve, a little sieve at home, that will work really, really nicely. If not, all you do is you use your fingers and you gently just pick it up and you sprinkle the icing sugar on top. I'm going to show you what it looks like. There we go. Okay, so you've got a beautiful custard tart with your 2 pieces, custard in the middle, and your little icing on top. And that is ready to go. Okay, so you can use, when it comes out the oven, you make all your ones that you've got, sandwich them together with custard in the middle, and sprinkle icing on top. Everyone know what they need to do there? Right, so what we're going to do is once you finish cutting these, pop them onto your baking tray, bake them in the oven 12 to 15 minutes. You want them to come out nice and golden brown like that. Once they come out, let them cool down a little bit first, and then you can assemble them and then you can eat them. Yummy, yummy for tea. Right, so that is it. I think we are finished. So you guys can all finish this on your own now. So finish cutting out your pastry, pop it on the baking tray, pop it in the oven, and when it comes out, you can assemble it. While it's in the oven, remember, clean up, guys. Nice and clean, or go wash your dishes, warm soapy water, little 1 squirt of sunlight liquid, remember. Make bubbles, wash your dishes, dry your dishes, pack them away, and remember to clean your tables beautifully. Use a little bit of Handy Andy, that's the white liquid. Ask your mom what she's got though. Wipe your tables down. Remember, if there's any food on your table, scoop it in your hand and in the bin, not on the floor. Right, and otherwise we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are making some bread and butter pudding, and we are making cheese straws tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to get our hands dirty with the cheese straws. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then some bread and butter pudding. So we're doing something sweet and savory again tomorrow. Moms, if you want to know about the ingredients list, just have a look on each event for each day. Under discussion, you will see a list of equipment and ingredients, but I will post it again later on today. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Love you all loads. Bye.